Thomas, thanks to you. And a few moments ago, we were joined by the ranking Republican member of the House Homeland Security Committee, New York Representative Peter King. Congressman, welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be here.
So yesterday, before your committee, the director of the Secret Service, he took the proverbial bullet. He took full responsibility for this. The White House released a statement, says we messed up. We're going to put somebody at the door from here on out. So why do you need to subpoena Desiree Rogers?
To find out what happened here. The fact is that the Secret Service and the Social Secretary, they share responsibility for security at events such as the state dinner. In fact, the Secret Service director testified that the arrangements for security were made in conjunction with the Social Secretary's office. And for the first time, we can spot, in at least the last 20 years, there was no one from the Social Secretary's office at that dinner outside with the Secret Service agents. This has never happened before.
Do you think Desiree Rogers should be fired or punished in some way?
No, I think she should come up and explain what happened. Now, maybe she had good reason for what she did. All I'm saying is they owe it to the Congress, they owe it to the American people to explain why, for the first time in 20 years, she decided to have no one from her office working with the Secret Service. The bottom line is, if her people have been doing the job that they had always done before, this incident would not have occurred.
They're using the separation of powers argument, which is not typically reserved for, state dinner crashers.
Right.
You don't buy that argument?
No, I don't. Actually, I believe in a strong executive, and in a number of cases, I would accept the separation of powers argument, but not in this one. It does not apply to a social secretary. It applies if this involved the health care reform bill, if this involved cap and trade, Afghanistan, that's one thing. But no, this has nothing to do with any private dealings with the President of the United States.
How confident are you in the Secret Service, and what should be done to the 3 agents who are now suspended?
I have a great respect for the Secret Service, and I think they are taking the bullet here. Sure, they are ultimately responsible for security. But the fact is, if the White House had been doing its job, this would not have happened. As to what happened to the 3 officers, I have a little bit of a bias. My father was a cop in New York City for years. It's always easy to blame the person who's on the front line. The fact is that if Desiree Rogers had been doing her job, these officers would not be in any kind of trouble.
The hearing yesterday really broke down along party lines, and with the Republicans really going after the White House for this. You accuse them of stonewalling. Right. They could accuse you of grandstanding in this case. Well, what do you say to that?
Oh, I'd be right and they'd be wrong. Now, the fact is, I do take this very seriously, and the Democratic chairman of the committee had joined with me in requesting the White House to be there. Because if we want to get a full picture of what happened with the security, you have to have the Secret Service, you have to have the White House there. By them not being there, they were basically smacking Congress in the face. They are stonewalling, and you wonder what they're covering up.
You going to the White House Christmas party this year?
Yeah, I'm going Monday night if they let me in.
Yeah, what will you say to Desiree Rogers if she's working the door, as promised?
Oh, I don't take... That's right. God, I just thought of that. Gee, I hope my wife isn't watching. She'll be afraid to go with me now. No, listen, I don't take this stuff personally. I take the issue seriously. We are talking about the security of the President of the United States. I'm sure Desiree Rogers is a wonderful person. The person I'm not too crazy about is Robert Gibbs. I think he's been sort of a wise guy on this, making flippant remarks at the news conferences about the Secret Service, dismissing, I think, the Secret Service, what they're doing, talking about people having audacity. I think he said that I had the audacity to be even bringing this issue up. As I said, the only audacity I have is the audacity of hope that this White House will be honest, and so far they're not being honest on this issue.
Republicans, Congressman Peter King, we appreciate you coming in this morning. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
And
Hey, just finished Good Morning America, and I'm arriving here at the Today Show to really expose what I think is a cover-up by the Obama administration of what happened at the White House dinner last week. It was an absolute disgrace, and they have to testify, and that's the message I'm bringing here to the Today Show today. So let me get inside and get started.
New York Representative Peter King is the top-ranking Republican on the House Homeland Security Committee. Representative Loretta Sanchez, a Democrat from California, is also a member of that committee. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Representative Sanchez, let me start with you. Mr. Sullivan testified for about 3 hours before that committee on Thursday. He answered an awful lot of questions. Are you done with it?
Well, first of all, I thought maybe we shouldn't have even had this, but in realizing that this was about the president, about another head of state, about some very important people in that White House, it is about a security breach. And I believe that the Secret Service does a great job. That's why I was so astounded that someone could get into the White House like that. From my standpoint, I think it's probably ended, although I know that the Chairman Thompson of our committee, is wanting to issue subpoenas to the couple to come before us and to get their side of the story.
Yeah, what about that, Congressman King? I mean, you know, a subpoena, so you want to see the Salahis in front of this committee. I mean, the head of the Secret Service said, no, this is, I'm paraphrasing here, this is our fault. You want to blame somebody, blame us. End of story. You don't buy that?
First of all, I'm not that concerned about the Salahis. I mean, if they show up, fine. But I think it is important to have Desiree Rogers there because in his testimony, yes, even though he did take the bullet, Director Sullivan said that the security arrangements were worked out with the Social Secretary's office. And at every dinner we've been able to track and every major event at the White House for at least the last 20 years, the Social Secretary's people were always there with the Secret Service agents. She decided to pull them away. We want to know why and what's going to be done in the future.
And you've said the White House is stonewalling here. What do you think they're trying to hide?
I don't know. Why wouldn't they come up and testify? Why they asked the Secret Service not to have, why they told the Secret Service they would not have people standing with them at those spots. If there had been somebody from Desiree Rogers' office standing there the way they've always been in the past, this incident would not have happened.
Representative Sanchez, would you like the opportunity to talk to Desiree Rogers either in front of your committee or in private?
Well, I certainly would like to hear from her what steps have been taken to ensure that, in fact, there's not only a Secret Service agent there with the list, but that there is somebody all the time there from the White House, because the White House, especially her department, or for us in the Congress, the legislative department, they know us, they can help the Secret Service agent, they can streamline that. If there's a problem, they can take care of it there. And it just makes sense when you come to one of the most important places on earth, that there be somebody there to greet there. I mean, even Walmart has a greeter. So, you know, I would like to hear from her.
And Congressman King, the White House says basically there's got to be an ability for staffers to deal with the president with confidentiality. They say, okay, if this were a case of Watergate or Whitewater, that's a different situation. Does the White House state dinner party crashing rise to that level?
It's not party crashing. It's the security of the President of the United States. When Valerie Jarrett, for instance, says this is not that important an issue, I don't know what can be more important than the security of the President of the United States. And also, you know, this is not a policy issue. This isn't Afghanistan or health care or cap and trade. This is strictly a personnel decision.
And I'll let you, Representative Sanchez, have the last word here. At no time yesterday during his testimony did Mr. Sullivan say anything like the Salahis lied to Secret Service agents or misrepresented themselves. We know they showed their own passport. Is this story over for them, in your opinion, or is there still a chance, do you think, that they might face some criminal charges?
I would imagine, especially given their former, some of the issues that we've heard, being on the Redskins cheerleader squad, impersonating other issues, I would imagine that they better lawyer up, because if there are laws that they've broken, then I would believe that the Secret Service and our law enforcement would go after them.
Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, Congressman Peter King, thanks you both for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good seeing you, Loretta.
All right, let's get the other top stories of the morning. Ann standing by at the news desk. Ann?
Good morning, Matt. Good morning.
Stock Exchange and Trish, jobs are also the focus there. Oh, they sure are, Ann. Good morning. Jobs very much in focus. The unemployment rate
It's always great doing the Today Show. A very serious issue, though. The White House has to face up to the reality here. They are definitely covering something up, and we have to find out what it is. So anyway, head back to the office.